Alright, so today I just want to make a quick basic maintenance video of my Gtek. It's basically what I do before I play, after I play, or any time before a period of long storage, so before winter, if I know I won't play for a month or so. So yeah, we'll start out first by checking the board to make sure the battery. If you don't have a board, then you're kind of out of luck, so always bring a spare battery. But if you have the OLED board, you can check how much you have, which I have plenty. Looks like I have about 3/4, so that'll be fine for now. Next thing we'll do is we will check take a microfiber and just wipe around the ASA. Make sure it's not a greasy one because you don't want to get grease inside of this. Usually, I actually have one just for wiping tanks and ASAs, anything, so I don't want to get any excess grease in there. So, just take the microfiber, wipe off inside of here. And you can kind of see it. I should have used a white towel, but a lot actually came off, and I just wiped this the other day. And sometimes you'll get little pieces of just little tiny pieces of metal that's fallen off the tank or whatever from the threads. Every once in a while you'll get a little piece like that, so it's just good to wipe that before you play. And make sure you don't get any grease, any oil inside of this stuff. Alright, next thing I usually do is I will check the bolt for grease, which it is not greased right now, so I'm going to do that right now. Put this off to the side. You're just left with this. So, start by taking off the can. That side. Okay. So here's the thing about the bolt. There's this part of the maintenance where I'll just grease these 3 O-rings right here, this O-ring right here, and then a little bit inside the can. And then there's also the more advanced bolt maintenance, which I'll do a different time. But I do that maybe every 4 or 5 times I play. I'll re-grease the inside of here, which is a little more complicated. But I just did that a few weeks ago, so I'm not going to do that right now. But we'll get started on the basic greasing. So you're just going to get some of the plain Eclipse grease. Not a lot, just a little bit. So I'll just put a little bit on my finger. And I will start off by putting a little bit of grease on the back of the bolt. This gun does not need a lot of grease, so I'll rub it around a little bit. And then I'll take the excess I have and just kind of spread it over the bolt, but don't get it on this. Try not to put too much on this front bumper O-ring. You don't want to fill it up right there. There you go. It's just lightly greased. Make sure there's not big excesses of grease. So it should just look a little bit shiny, but shouldn't be drenched in grease. I found with the Gtek that it's better to under-grease it than over-grease it, so don't over-grease it. Next thing we do is I'm going to take a little bit more, put it on my finger. It's about half the size of a pea, I would say. And I like to put it on the back O-rings first. There's 2 right there, so I kind of do them both at once. Just rub my finger around, and you can see there's a ton of excess, so I'm going to press a little bit harder. Rub it around a little bit. Wipe a little bit right here in the excess I have, and kind of just wipe off the excess again with my fingers and just wipe it off on a microfiber. So, just wet, not too much buildup, which is perfect. Get a little bit more. Just a teeny bit compared to I'd say the tip of a pencil. Not a lot at all. So I'm going to put it on this front little O-ring right here, the thing that looks like kind of like an onion, I would say. That's it, just like that. And then on the back one, use the rest of it for that. Which this one can be a little tricky. I try not to touch the grease I already greased. There we go. So I'd say that's perfectly greased. You can see it's not too wet, not too dry. So that's perfect for the bolt. And then what I'll do before I'm done is I will put some, just a little bit, on the inside of the can. So I'll just kind of put it right here, Grease a little bit around right there. Take the microfiber and wipe off the grease that's on top. So I just put a teeny bit in there, and then I'll just take a teeny bit more, barely anything, and just wipe it on the inside of the can, just to make it a little bit slick for the bolt to go through. So now we're going to put the bolt in there. And how you know it's ready is it should slide pretty nicely, which mine is sliding super smooth. And I usually like to cycle it just a few times, just to get the grease working. Okay. And what you want to do is sometimes there's a little bit extra grease right here after you do that, and I just wipe that off. And then you should be good to go after that. So you won't deal with any of that excess grease. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to attach it. Like so. Screw it tight. Not too tight, you don't, just tight enough. And then test it again. Make sure everything slides nice, which it is. Okay. Finally, before I put the bolt back in, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of grease. As you can see, as a reference, a very small amount. And I'm just going to grease these two back O-rings right here. That does not affect the performance. It's just personal preference. I like to put a little bit there, so it slides, so the bolt slides out of the gun a little bit better. I just don't want to damage those back O-rings. And you see I got a little bit caught right there, so I'll just take like the pencil, or if you have something else, a toothpick, and just wipe that off. And a little bit again, just a teeny bit, and just get this other one right here. This won't affect the performance of the gun. It's not going to hurt anything. You don't have to do this. Most people don't, I think. I just like to. Just personal preference. And we'll take that, put the cap back onto the grease. Just insert it back into the gun. Should slide nice and easy. And then that's it for the bolt. So next thing we're going to check is the eyes, or the detents. Make sure they're clean, because sometimes they will get damaged, or they'll just be dirty. So I'm going to check to make sure those are not dirty. We'll start by. And also, one thing to be careful about is to make sure your screws are not stripped. These ones I found happen to be a little bit tricky sometimes. Actually, it's throwing me off. Alright, so I was having a little bit of trouble with that screw there. It's because I actually just replaced it. So now I got it out, and take off the eye cover. So as you can see, yeah, I got it from the spare parts kit. They put a little bit too much Loctite on it. A bunch came off on my finger, so won't be having that problem again. So here you would just take a microfiber, wipe off the pieces, wipe off the eyes, wipe off the detents, and just replace it. There. And you don't have to tighten these down too much, just hand tight. Just like that. So that easy to loosen up. Doesn't have to be tight. Okay. You do the same to the other side. Alright. And then besides that, all I would do is just wipe off in I can't think of the name, but you just wipe off in here, and you paint here, and wipe off in the front, and you'd be good to go. And that's it for the basic maintenance, bolt maintenance of the Gtek.